The world watched in horror as a mass grave was uncovered in Rafah, southern Gaza on March 27, 2025. The discovery of 15 bodies, all aid workers, sent shockwaves through the international community. These individuals, dedicated to alleviating suffering in a war-torn region, became tragic casualties themselves. The recovery of the bodies marked a grim turn in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, which reignited on March 18, 2025. The incident has sparked outrage and condemnation, raising serious questions about the protection of humanitarian workers in conflict zones. The discovery of the mass grave followed weeks of escalating violence in Gaza. A ceasefire, in place since October 2023, crumbled, leading to a renewed Israeli offensive. The fragile peace, already strained after months of conflict, completely shattered. The discovery of the mass grave underscored the brutal reality of the conflict and its devastating impact on civilians and aid workers alike. The initial discovery on March 27 revealed the body of a civil defense worker. Days later, on March 30, 14 more bodies were recovered. The grim task of identifying the victims began, painting a clearer picture of the tragedy. Among the victims were members of the Palestine Red Crescent Society, Gaza's civil defense, and a UN agency employee. Their selfless dedication to providing aid in a war zone ultimately cost them their lives. The discovery of the mass grave served as a stark reminder of the human cost of the conflict. It highlighted the daily dangers faced by aid workers in Gaza and the urgent need for their protection. The international community grappled with the implications of the tragedy, demanding accountability and calling for an end to the violence. The 15 aid workers recovered from the mass grave represented a diverse group of individuals united by their commitment to helping others. Among the victims were 8 members of the Palestine Red Crescent Society, known for their tireless efforts in providing medical aid in conflict zones. These brave individuals risked their lives daily to provide essential care to those caught in the crossfire. 5 members of Gaza's civil defense were also among the victims. These courageous individuals worked tirelessly to respond to emergencies, often putting themselves in harm's way to protect civilians. Their dedication to their duty ultimately cost them their lives. One UN agency employee, dedicated to providing humanitarian aid and support to the people of Gaza, was also recovered from the mass grave. Their commitment to alleviating suffering in the region serves as a testament to the spirit of humanitarian work. The identification of the victims brought their personal stories into focus, highlighting their bravery and the profound loss felt by their families and communities. These were not just statistics, they were sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, friends, and colleagues who dedicated their lives to helping others. Their loss leaves a void in the humanitarian community and serves as a stark reminder of the risks aid workers face daily. The victims' commitment to serving others, even in the face of danger, underscores the importance of protecting humanitarian workers in conflict zones. Their sacrifice should not be in vain, and the international community must strive to ensure the safety and security of those working tirelessly to provide aid and support to those in need. The events leading to the deaths of the 15 aid workers remain shrouded in conflicting accounts and accusations. The Israeli military claims that on March 23, 2025, they opened fire on ambulances and fire trucks in southern Rafah, believing they were being used as cover by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad militants. This assertion, however, has been met with skepticism and outright denial from Palestinian authorities and eyewitness accounts. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs paints a different picture. According to their investigation, the initial team of aid workers was allegedly killed on March 23 while responding to an earlier incident. Subsequent crews, dispatched to search for their missing colleagues, were then targeted in the following hours. UNOCHA alleges that following these attacks, Israeli forces attempted to cover up the scene by burying the bodies in vehicles. The Palestine Red Crescent Society corroborates elements of UNOCHA's account. According to their statement, PRCS workers were responding to Israeli attacks in Rafah's Al-Hashashin area when they came under fire, and communication was lost. Gaza's civil defense also supports the claim of a deliberate attack, reporting that their staff went missing after a sudden incursion by Israeli forces in the same area, resulting in deaths, injuries, and the besieging of PRCS vehicles. The conflicting narratives and accusations surrounding the incident highlight the challenges of attaining justice and accountability in the fog of war. The lack of independent investigations and the often polarized political climate make it difficult to separate fact from propaganda. The international community faces a critical need for a transparent and impartial investigation to determine the truth behind the deaths of these aid workers and hold those responsible accountable. The discovery of the mass grave in Rafah has sent shockwaves through the humanitarian community, raising serious concerns about the safety and security of aid workers in conflict zones. The incident serves as a chilling reminder of the risks these individuals face daily as they strive to provide life-saving assistance to those in need. The targeting of aid workers, if proven true, represents a grave violation of international law and sets a dangerous precedent. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies condemned the attacks, calling them the single most deadly for IFRC workers in almost a decade. The PRCS went further, labeling the targeting of their medics a war crime. These statements underscore the gravity of the situation and the urgent need for accountability. The incident has had a profound impact on the morale and operations of aid organizations working in Gaza. The fear of being targeted has forced many organizations to scale back their operations, depriving vulnerable populations of essential aid. The already dire humanitarian crisis in Gaza, exacerbated by the ongoing conflict and blockade, is further compounded by the targeting of aid workers. The international community must take concrete steps to ensure the protection of humanitarian personnel and uphold international humanitarian law. This includes conducting independent investigations, holding perpetrators accountable, and ensuring safe and unimpeded access for aid organizations to deliver life-saving assistance. The deaths of these 15 aid workers should serve as a wake-up call to the international community. The protection of those who dedicate their lives to alleviating suffering is paramount, and failure to act decisively will only embolden those who seek to exploit chaos and target those who represent hope and compassion.